Is this thing on? Hey guys, it's Quana back again with another video. Hope you guys are doing awesome. So hopefully you've been watching season 3 of Abbott Elementary. It comes on Wednesday nights. I have to always watch it because I don't have cable on the recap Thursday. But I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about this season so far and what's been taking place and my thoughts about the season from kind of a teacher perspective. So hope you don't mind sticking around and talking to me for a second. It won't be a full recap, but just some thoughts about the season and where it's going and how things are shaping out as a fan of the show. If you're unfamiliar with Abbott Elementary, it is a show about teachers at an inner city Philadelphia elementary school. The show is written and stars Quinta Brunson, who plays Janine Teagues. She starts out as a kindergarten teacher and then kind of climbs up through the ranks. And she is kind of surrounded by a village of teachers who help her to develop her own teaching abilities. There is her good friend Jacob, Mr. Hill. He is a white man who is really for the black people, and he's allied. Miss Barbara Howard, played by the incomparable Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is kind of like the wise mentor teacher. There is Melissa Chimenti, who is kind of a rough around the edges South Philly type of gal, and she is played by Lisa Ann Walter. And then you have Principal Ava Coleman, played by Janelle James. And then, of course, you have Mr. Gregory, played by Tyler James Williams. And he plays the love interest in this show. I have thoroughly enjoyed season 1 and 2 of Abbott Elementary. I know for some teachers it can be hard to watch because the teachers are dealing with real life issues. They're dealing with lack of funding, lack of support, lack of supplies, lack of parental support, bad kids, all of the things that real teachers deal with. But I do find that this show is more inspirational and uplifting than anything else. It's really grounded in the idea that, you know, teachers can overcome and can make a change or a difference, even if it's minute. And it's really about people who are in the profession for the love of the profession. And I think that that's a good message. Also, the cast has garnered a ton of support for real life teachers. They've done book drives, they've done GoFundMe's, all kinds of things. And so I think that's really good. They've just been very supportive of the teaching profession. It really does a good job of not bashing teachers, but it's not afraid to point the finger at things like bad administrators, bad teachers, lack of support, like I said, lack of support even from teachers who don't need to be in the profession or who are in it for the wrong reasons. So you get to follow these characters and their journeys as teachers, but then you also get to follow their journeys as individuals. It's a mockumentary style show where there is a documentary crew who's investigating or interviewing the school, and so they're able to get these candid moments with the teachers as well as like these confessional style interviews with them. And so I think the show is just really fun. It's got like a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, and so I followed it since the very first episode because I was such a huge fan of Quinta Brunson. Everything from all of her stuff at BuzzFeed to the He Got Money to the Broke series, and then when she was on Black Lady Sketch Show. And as much as I love Black Lady Sketch Show after Quinta, I just feel like that OG season 1 cast with her as a part of it just can never be matched at all. Can never be matched. It's perfect. So season 3, with the strike, I really was wondering how they were going to handle both the absence of time, this season being perhaps shorter than it was supposed to be, and then also we have this budding romance between Janine and Mr. Eddie. Because you have this slow burn romance that's taking place, and with the time jump, would it feel rushed? Would it feel forced? How will they work? So when season 3 returned, they did a career day episode, and we find out a couple of major events. And so this is where spoilers for season 3 are going to enter in. So if you have haven't watched it, you may want to watch and come back to this video. But in season 3, we find out that Janine is now at the district because she's been offered an opportunity to do an internship, a paid internship at the district for 1 year. This is so common. This is common as air. So many good teachers, most often good teachers, are recruited out of the classroom and into district positions. And it's both great for them, but also very unfortunate for the schools that they leave behind, because so often they leave a hole where they were some of the hardworking, most supportive teachers in the school. And then they get to the district level and the pay is good, but also the lack of support is just not there for them to continue to flourish and be the movers and the changers that they wanted to be. And so I think that is something a little foreboding going into the season, knowing that is where Janine is. We also momentarily think that we've gotten some growth out of Principal Ava. I think just enough to begin her character arc, but it was very startling at first because it seemed like she just had a major uptake, and she really is kind of like the comedic relief of the show. And so it was interesting to see them kind of pull back on that. Then you have the budding relationship with Janine and Gregory being interrupted, which I think was kind of necessary because they do handle the time jump, and they tell that the time jump has happened simply because the camera crew got robbed, which was such a smart way to handle that. Like, literally, bravo. Like, that was just like such a good way to handle that. And then you have Janine, and her going to the district or getting pursued by the district and really kind of realizing that perhaps she has the potential to do some good at the district level and being interested in going off and doing that. And so I thought that the career day segment was so smart. And then it was smart because they actually were able to incorporate some things that really schools should be doing, introducing kids to real professions, both aspirational professions, but then also obtainable professions, and showing that there really wasn't any discrimination between any of those. I felt like they gave just as much respect to the nail technician as they did to the players of the Philadelphia Eagles. So one of the cameos, of course, for the episode was that Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and is Jason Kelsey, I'm not a big football person, but Jason Kelsey, and I can't remember who the other one was, came and did like a Zoom conference with the school. And I thought that was such a smart way to do a collaboration between the Eagles, because they always acknowledge how important the Eagles are to the school and to the layout of the show. So I thought that was really smart way to bring in and garner in that audience. And like I said, Career Day 1 and 2 were the first 2 episodes. In episode 3, I think it's where we begin to see the seeds of what the show is targeting with regards to Janine's move to the district, because she has a situation that she is trying to help solve. Mr. Jacob has a student who is hearing impaired, and she would desperately benefit from having an ASL interpreter in the classroom, but the funding's not there, and Janine gets the okay for it, but she has to make it happen on her own, and it just seems like such a big stumbling block. And I think that this is where, in trying to be authentic, the show is probably going to have some hurdles, simply because Janine is someone who is so aspirational, right? She is like the dream teacher who believes she can do everything and anything and make the impossible possible. And what I find is that a lot of districts, they will kill that in a teacher. They will destroy that in a teacher. It's so hard to kind of like work around the system and to make the system work for you. And a lot of that has to happen outside of your work hours, and with as little as teachers get paid, a lot of them just don't have the energy to do that themselves. And then so very often people who are at the district level aren't willing to have that fight. They don't have that fight back, that willing to, I'm going to ask the question anyway. And we saw that from Janine. She was willing to ask it anyway, even though no one else thought it was going to happen. She was willing to ask the difficult questions. And so very rarely does that happen. I feel like nobody's pushing back. Someone has a bright idea and no one's like, let's find this out. Let's see if this will make sense to the teachers. Let's see if this will work. I'm really interested to see where this goes, especially with Ava thinking that, Janine is going to be her mole at the district. Will she stay at the district level? Will she come back into the classroom? I think also one of the things that'll be interesting to see play out is that Mr. Eddie's character initially came to the school as a substitute teacher because he wanted to be a principal and applied to the principal program and did not get in. And in fact, wanted the job at Abbott as principal, but Ava gets it for nefarious reasons because she's blackmailing a school board member. And how will he handle he and Janine's budding romance now that she potentially will have more power within the district than him? I mean, obviously she's a more veteran teacher than he is, but what will happen if she continues on the track at the district level and stays in like the administration side of things? So that's an interesting take. I would say that the teacher who probably should leave and become an administrator the most would be either Miss Howard or Miss Shimenti. But yeah, I do still think that the show is going strong. The jokes are still sharp. It's still super funny. But I do worry that in trying to tackle some of the realities, things are going to start to take an ugly turn, because the reality of school, like the stuff that they did in the first couple seasons was very lighthearted. Now we're getting into structural issues, major, heavy, like not having enough funding for an ASL interpreter so the kid can actually learn. Like, you're getting into heavy territory there. And I think that it's great that we're going to get that spotlight, but how are they going to keep it funny? I think if anybody can do it, it's Quinta. But it just makes me worry that, they've been renewed for season 4. So how long will they be able to keep the tone? Because this was not like Bad Teacher. This was not a show that's making fun of the teaching profession, but it's really like a show that is funny, but shines a light on what teachers have to go through. But it gets ugly sometimes. They did a good job of handling some of those moments in season 2. So I definitely think if any show could do it, it is Abbott. But let me know down below in the comments, are you enjoying season 3 so far? Where is it falling? Maybe later on, I would love to do a breakdown of the episodes, like season 1, episode 1, season 2, episode 1, and season 3, episode 1, just to kind of see how all of the season premieres and the season finales kind of compare to each other. Let me know if that's a video you guys would be interested in. And then later on this week, I'm trying to decide between whether I should go see Madam Web, Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know. I have no idea. Let me know down below in the comments, are you interested in seeing either one of those movies? And I will talk to you guys later, okay? Until then, toodles.